Hello, this is Nikki in Niagara coming to you from Niagara Falls, Canada. And welcome to vlog number 32 or 33. 33, I think. But you already know because it says in the title. So, today we're going to do the this or that tag, and we are going to color in lots of dots, which I was requested to color in. So we will get started on that. But first, if you have any questions or requests about anything, about coloring tips, coloring books, coloring supplies, or any questions for me personally that I can answer publicly, please go ahead and leave them in the comments. So, we are going to use, or I am going to use, some water-based markers in here because these are just small little circles. And that's what water-based markers are good for. So in here, I have I always forget what these are called or how to say it. I need to read it to say it. So these are the Tombow Fudenosuke. No, Fudenosuke. And then I have the Pentel Flares. Just a couple of twin tones, a couple of Rochon Petite, a couple of Prismacolor brush markers, and I think that's all that's in here. I'm mainly going to be using the Tombow Fudenosuke, unless they don't have the color. So put those over there. Now we'll get this off. And this is wonderful paper. So even though I'm using water-based markers on this nice paper, they probably won't go through the page. But if they do, I don't really care if it goes through on the back of that, and I'm going to put down a blotter page so it doesn't get onto the next page. But I'm not expecting them to bleed through at all, because these markers that I have in here are the kind that don't really give out much ink. But they're wonderful pens. So I've never done one of these before, but it looks simple enough. We simply color in the dot with the color that the dot is. So it looks like, well, see here it looks like there's two greens, dark green and light green. And over here, this looks more like a, okay, so that's a blue. I'm glad they've done this because these colors are a little bit similar. So yeah, this is definitely helpful. Okay, so there's light green and there's a dark green. And then there's this blue, which kind of looks like a turquoise there. Okay, so let's start with light green. Oh, I hope I'm able to color. I have a really sore neck from, no, I guess I usually outline first before I color in. I hope you'll be able to tell what I'm doing since it's just little dots, but I guess I will zoom in on this for you when I get to the editing. Yeah, my neck is really sore because I've been working on a two-page spread in Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. The okay, so that's the dark one. The Wonder Room scene, and this is my third day working on it, and my neck is just absolutely killing me from being bent over the page. I don't know how to color with a straight neck because then it would need to be it would need to be here in front of my face. Alright, so let's get on with the this or that questions. So there are 23, and the tag was started by Michaela Renee, which will be listed in the description down below. Nobody tagged me, but I decided I wanted to do this anyways, so since I wasn't tagged, I'm not going to tag. So, number one, alcohol markers or water-based markers? Well, you can tell from what I'm using from this that I don't mind water-based markers, and I use alcohol markers a lot. I like water-based markers. They have a place in my coloring. They're usually very vibrant colors. And if you get the better brands, could you put that down? I think it might need doing because of the screw is loose, because I can't get it to go. No, that just tilts this. There's a little thing to lift up, but I think the screw, like you lift it up, but I can't get it to go down. It's all the way up. You need to push that thing. Yeah, see, it's all the way up. You need to push it down to go down. But it won't work, so I'm thinking maybe it's because the screw is loose. Hey, sorry about that. I just have my son in here fixing a table for me. It's stuck all the way up high. So, back to water-based markers. Yes, if you get the more, well, not expensive. They're not expensive, but they're not cheap ones, like the Tombow. And these aren't the normal Tombows that people usually talk about. Those are the brush tips. This is the Fudenosuke. And, oh, see, I'm having a hard time telling the difference between light and dark. Okay, so light is really light. So you don't use water-based markers for large areas because they will streak. Now, of course, there are people who do that. They like the look. It gives them, they say they like the texture. That's not how I use them. I use them for small little spaces like this where they don't streak. And they add really nice, bright, vibrant pops. You can use them all, pops of color. You can use them along with pencils. I like doing that. And I always have this on my desk so that I can just grab a color. But I use alcohol markers more often than I use the watercolors, so I'm going to go with alcohol markers. Number 2 is Jade Summer Grayscale or Jade Summer Line Art. Well, I have definitely been a fan of Jade Summer Grayscale. There is a little bit of the internal politics, I guess, that go along with the Jade Summer community that kind of bothers me about the grayscale, but I like doing it. Jade Summer's grayscale is nice, it's light, it's got bold lines, it's very easy to work in, and I like the effect that it gives. And it gives your your coloring more depth, and it looks like you did a lot more work than you really did. Okay, so now I'm having a hard time telling the yellow apart from the light green. Problem is that the dark greens aren't green enough. Now what is that? The blue. I guess that's supposed to be a dark green. Yeah, so I like the grayscale, but I have to say that I am starting to be interested in the line art more. I do have some of their line art books, though, don't get me wrong. So I do both, but I am a fan of the grayscale, so I will go with Jade Summer Grayscale. Prismacolor pencils or Polychromos pencils? Well, I have both, and they both do different. Each one does a different kind of coloring, so I don't think that they can be compared to each other. They are a contrast of each other. but I like the Prismacolors best. They're my favorite pencil. I like wax-based pencils better than oil-based. The Prismacolors are just so thick. That's no, that's yellow. Okay, this gets a little bit confusing here. These colors aren't exactly the most easy to tell apart here. Need to keep checking to see the difference between the yellow and the light green now. Where's the dark green? There's the light green. Okay. This is a little bit hard to talk and do at the same time. I was wondering if I would be finished the picture before I'm done the tag, but that's not going to happen. Okay, so we went with Prismacolor pencils. Number 4, Hannah Carlson or Maria Trolla? I'm going to answer that right away with Maria Trolla. It isn't really a contest for me. Now, I do have books by both of them. I fell in love with Maria Trolla's coloring as soon as I saw it, and I have been a fan of hers, buying every single book that she has. When I first saw Hannah Carlson, I thought I couldn't understand why it was popular. I thought it was the ugliest. Oh, here we go. I thought it was the ugliest women I had ever seen, and I was not attracted to it at all. But eventually, over time, as I saw more and more people coloring her art, and I got used to the look, the style of the women, and saw that her books were really, really mixed media friendly, I slowly began to like some of her work. And I have 3 of her books. I don't know which ones I don't have, but I don't like coloring jewelry, so I don't have jewelry box. I don't like coloring gems and crystals, so I don't have that book. And I don't like coloring people in double-sided books. So I don't like spirit animals, because every single double page has a woman on it, basically. I haven't looked at the real books, so I don't know for sure, but yeah, so I wasn't attracted to that. But her other 3 books have a lot of stuff that I do like in them, and I have them. I haven't colored a lot in them. I have one. I think I've colored, well, I know I've colored at least one in each book, but I'm not sure if I've colored more than that. Now I just need to take a look at this to make sure I don't have any of the light ones left, because that's the green and yellow, but I'm not seeing any contrast for a lighter one. So, oh, there's one. Let's look back down here. Okay, and we don't get many of the greens out there. Okay, so I'm going to say I'm done with that. So let's do the dark green and get it done. Do I have a dark green? No, I only have one green in that color. Don't have a Papermate Flare. Uh-oh. Okay, so I got one dark green. This is the Rochon Petite. Okay, so that was Maria Trolla. Okay, that's a nice contrast there between the dark and light. Color by number or non-color by number? I love color by numbers. I have a huge collection of them. I'm on a color by number no buy at the moment, because I have so many that I need to start completing a few before I buy any more. And trying to keep up with Color Questopia is just not possible. But I've noticed that they're not publishing black editions at the same time as the white editions anymore, so I may be able to keep up with them from now. But yeah, for me, it's not a winning game trying to keep up with Color Questopia. I only buy the black backgrounds. So, I mean, I color more non-color by number books, I think, now than I do the color by number books. So it's hard for me to choose one or the other, but to show that I'm a big fan of color by numbers, I'm going to go with color by number. And that's what I'm doing right now, so hail to the color by number, though this is color by color. Okay, mandalas or patterns. This is a hard one for me to choose. I love doing both of them. Sometimes a mandala is just the thing that I need, and I can't do one. I have to do at least two. But patterns are just so soothing, and they're so interesting. I like them to be pretty intricate. Same with my mandalas. The more intricate, the better for a mandala. Patterns, I like very intricate, but not the ultimate. if that helps. Sometimes a pattern can be a mandala. There's a lot of patterns that start in the center with a circle and they go round and round until they split off into filling the page up with a pattern. So I think I'm going to go with pattern because of that. Because sometimes I can get my mandala fixed within a pattern. So yeah, pattern. It's easier to do these dark greens now that I've got the light greens out of the way, and I think that if I've missed any of the light greens, I will find them right away now. So yeah, patterns. Patterns. Okay, number 7, double-sided or single-sided books. It's so hard to choose between these questions. Some of these are very good questions. Well, I'm working in a double-sided book right now, and I have lots of double-sided books. Double-sided books just seem more, I don't know, when I'm doing double-sided books, I usually use my pencils and water-based markers. So just taking a look here, nothing's bled through. I love my single-sided books. They're more, yeah, I was trying to think of what they were more of. Well, they're like a real book, and I'm a book person. I absolutely love books. I used to be a used and rare books book dealer. And, you know, my whole life has included books. That's why the double-sided books feel like books. But I color a lot of single-page images. So, which do I prefer? Well, it depends whether I want what medium I'm in the mood for. Sometimes I'm in the mood for pencils, and so I want to use a double-sided book. But I think that since I use more single images. I'm going to go with that. Single-sided books. Single page spreads or double page spreads. Okay, that's easy for me because single page spreads. I'm going to take a sip of my drink. And sorry for the reach. I avoid double page spreads like the plague. They just scare me. When I look at them, I go, oh, I can't do all that. So I don't do them. But right now, I am working on a double page spread. I told you at the beginning about my neck. So I'm doing a double page spread, and it's like harming me. I have a coloring injury. I have colorist's neck. Or coloring neck. Ooh, I thought these would be quick to do. The book, this pattern, I thought it would be fast to do, but it's not because of the colors used in this book here. So I certainly wouldn't be like knocking these off one after the other. They do take concentration. So obviously single page spreads, that's an easy one. I'm done with that. Okay, Ohuhu markers or CaliArt markers, and these are alcohol ones. Well, that's a no-brainer because CaliArt markers are only available in the US, so I don't have the opportunity to make a decision there. I am relegated to Ohuhus because I don't want to be ordering from the States every time I need to order a set. And I have absolutely no complaints with the Ohuhus. I haven't used their brush markers yet, but I intend to until the ink situation is resolved here in Canada with Copic. Because I would just love to go back to using my Copics, but I have a few, well, more than a few, but not enough to call a lot, of ones that need re-inking. And I don't want to keep using my Copics and ending up with more empty markers than I can afford to buy the ink for at one time, if you know what I mean. Okay, so I think I'm done all the greens. I'm just going to go through it and make sure I didn't miss one like I did right there. So the answer is Ohuhu markers by default. Color by number white backgrounds or color by number black backgrounds? Black, all the way black. I used to be a goth girl in the 80s. I was an 80s goth. So I've always liked black. I don't think I wore colored clothing in my teenage years ever. Well, no. When I turned 19. So in 19 I started wearing colored clothing again. When I was 19, not in 19. Okay, looks like I've got all the greens. So I think maybe we'll go with the yellows next. Do I have a yellow in here? There's no yellow in this one. Alright, I'm going to grab a yellow from over here. So this is a Pentel Touch marker, and this is the Japanese version, because they are different than the Americanized version. So yeah, black backgrounds. They're just, I mean, we're talking about Color Questopia here because they're the ones that make the difference, and where the community divide is. There's a little bit of rivalry, I guess you could call it, going on between the between the black backed pages or the white blacked pages backed. And yeah, I like the blacks because it's just so much easier than doing the outlining. I found that absolutely tedious, and it made me not do my Color Questopia pages very fast. I'd only do one at a time. Now that I use the black backgrounds, I can do 3 at a time. Yeah, that's it for yellow, so let's start down here and do the purples. Morning coloring or night coloring, it doesn't matter to me. I don't work. I don't sleep in late. I do stay up late. So now that I'm older, I only need a smaller amount of sleep time, I've kind of figured out. Okay, now just a minute here. Okay, so now we're going to have a hard time again because the pinks are like a red purple, so it's hard to tell the difference until I see one here. Okay. So there. There. It's not going to make a huge difference if you do one of these the wrong color. So, I mean, what do I color most? I guess I spend more time coloring in the evening than I do in the morning, but I don't mind afternoon coloring or mid-afternoon or mid-morning or mid-evening. Anytime. What does that song go? Even in the evening. No, I don't know. So yeah, let's go with night coloring. So Jade Summer Chibi Girls or April Amber Chibi Girls. Well, I like April Amber's work. I've got all her books. But I definitely think it's a no-brainer going with the Jade Summer ones. It's more professional quality. It's just more professional. I mean, they're a business, they're a company. They've got a lot of patrons who want things done certain ways. April Amber is an independent artist publishing her own work, so it doesn't meet the standards of the professional work, but it is cute art. But I'm going with the Jade Summer Chibis. Alan Robert or Emily Lidahall Oberg. Now this is going with opposites, because Emily does, it's hard to tell here. Okay, so Emily does fairy tales, and Alan does horror. I'll have to say I have all of both books, both artists' books. I've colored more in Alan Roberts, but if I could take only one book by one of those authors with me to a deserted island, it would be Emily Lidahall Oberg. Where are we? Okay, 15. Having double images in books or having one copy of each photo, of each image in books. I don't know why I stopped there for a minute. Definitely one copy. I absolutely do not understand having 2 copies in any kind of book. I mean, any other book that you buy, a novel, a children's book, children's educational workbooks, they all have one page. They don't have doubles of pages. And I don't need 2 images. You know, if you mess up, just work through it. Just, you know, fix it. Nothing is garbage unless I've had one picture which I actually tore out of a book because I hated it. But that's a different story. I don't use the second pages in my books. My sister and I trade them. A lot of books it says on that page, or share with a friend, and that's what my sister and I do. We share those second copies with each other, because what use are they to us, and I don't want to throw away good paper. But when I get it, and some people are just going to scream when I say this, but when I get a double-paged imaged, how do you say that? Well, let's see how it was written down. Okay. When I get a book that has double images in it, okay, you ready for this? I tear out the second copy. I do it immediately, right then and there, even before I ask my sister if she wants a second copy. So yeah, I have no use for them. Now I think, oh no, one there. Or actually, I think I did that wrong just now. Okay, but I think I've done all the purples. So let's get that red, violet, what color is it? Pink. Let's get that done. Wait, where are we? Do we have a pink? Here we go. Yeah, and this is actually the color that those are. The lid of this is a bit like it. More of a red-violet than a pink, but here we go. So this is relaxing to do. I think I would be having more fun doing it if I weren't talking and doing it at the same time, because it does take concentration, because every color has a color that is similar to it. Like right now, I'm finding that the reds are similar to the pink, so I'm having to be careful again when they're beside each other. So, single images. Oh no. Okay, well no, this is easy. 16, Joanna Basford or Kirby Rosanna's. Okay, so I have all the books by both of these, except I don't have Kirby's first two books. I don't have that doodle book of his or his sketchbook. But otherwise I have all of his mainstream published books. The first two were self-published. But I've only colored one picture in one book. It's not that he intimidates me, it's just I look at one of his pages and go, ugh, that is going to take me so long to do. And I mean, I'm used to working in, or using my alcohol markers, because when I started off coloring this second time, when I took up my, oh, can I speak? My channel. When I started my channel, I was just alcohol markers, because I had no interest in going anywhere else. But I've progressed and widened my areas of interest since then. But still, I just look at and I mean, it's because he's got so many double page spreads, and I already said that I avoid them like the plague. But even his single pages, I just look at it and go, oh, how long is that going to take? Now Joanna, I have all of her books too, and I love coloring in them. I've done a number of pages, quite a few now, with all the Inky and Ivy pages that I've been doing. So I'm going to go with her, even though her double page spreads make me groan with how long they're going to take. Okay, so pastel backgrounds or acrylic paint backgrounds? Well, since this says acrylic paint, I'm going to guess that pastel means the supply. Like acrylic paint is a supply, so let's go with pastels, as in chalk pastels or soft pastels or pan pastels. I've done both. Pastels is easier. Sometimes I just don't feel like doing an acrylic background because there's too much intricacy in the pattern to be bothered going around. You see a theme here? I think I'm a lazy colorist. But, oh, I started this one and didn't finish it. What's the question again? Oh, yeah. So, sometimes, oh, I forgot a purple one. Now, where is it? Oh. No. Wait a minute. Okay, no. Well, yes, I did. There it is. I lost it for a minute. It's a big one. But I don't do, I don't do backgrounds a lot of the time. I don't do one. Really, unless it's a framed picture so that I know where the ends are, I don't do a background. Like if I have a picture like this, any kind of image that's floating in the middle of the page, I don't do a background because there is no background. It's just an image on a piece of paper. To me, this is my thinking. Now, if there's a frame and there's like ends of the picture, then I can't leave part of the picture uncolored. So I color it. But, okay. Pastels are easier, but which one do I prefer? I prefer acrylic backgrounds. They look nicer. So I'm going to go with acrylic paint backgrounds, even though I don't do them as often as I'd like. Hannah Lynn or Jasmine Beckett Griffith? Okay. Now, Jasmine Beckett Griffith, I love her art. It is beautiful. Like I said before, I used to be a goth girl, and I guess I still am at heart. So I love her pictures because they're all sad and gloomy and dark, but they've got dark humor in them as well, which is what I'm attracted to. So I love her work. And I have one of her books, and I thought I'd be a person who would have all of her books and would love coloring in her images, but I've done two, and I agonized over both of them. One I like how it turned out, and the other one I hate. So that's my Jasmine Beckett Griffith story. Now, Hannah Lynn, I took a long time to like her, kind of like Hannah Carlson. I just wasn't attracted to her pictures at first. I found myself being really attracted to Deborah Muller, but Hannah Lynn, now don't shoot me, but when I first saw Hannah Lynn's pictures, I thought it was just the same girl wearing different outfits throughout the book, and I thought, well, I said, that's no fun. I want different girls. Like, so what if you just change her hair and her clothes? It's still the same girl. So that's what I thought of her pictures to begin with. And so I didn't buy any of her books until she started doing stopped doing the double pages, and she started doing an image and a basic image. Then I noticed that her art wasn't as busy as it had been before, and I didn't really mind the sameness of the faces. I started being attracted to her work with that first book, which I forget the name of it right now. Then she came out with the second one, which I think was the Girls at Work, or was that the first one? But then I liked it, and so now I've bought a few of her books, but only the ones that have the two different images. Okay, so I've got one here, and then I think I'm done these. I think those are all red. Oh, missed some on here. So I like to color Hannah Lynn in the end. Just took me a while to get there. So I'm going to go with her because okay, we're talking about coloring, not looking at their art. So if it was just looking at their art, I would pick Jasmine. If it's coloring their art, then I pick Hannah. So that's what this is this tag is about coloring, so Hannah Lynn. Okay, so we're almost down to the end, guys. Ordering from Amazon or Etsy. I order practically everything I own from Amazon. So that's pretty much, we're going to go with red now. So that's pretty much, okay, there, I knew I had a red, but I couldn't find it. So that's going to have to be my answer. I've only ordered a few things off of Etsy. I mean, I've ordered a couple of things that weren't coloring books, and I've ordered a couple of coloring books, but most of the Etsy stuff that I'm attracted to is way too expensive to pay for a book. Or, I missed a pink. Or, or it's a Japanese book, which I have since found out is much easier to buy from Amazon Japan, so that's Amazon. So, this one is a no-brainer, and I go with Amazon. Glitter gel pens or stickles? Well, I love stickles. Before I bought stickles, I thought it was kind of silly and kind of I thought, oh, that's going to be messy. I don't want to put glue on my pages. I don't need special glitter. So, you know, that was my opinion. I always seem to like take a dislike to things and then have to grow, have it grow on me. I think this seems to be another theme here. So I was quite content with my glitter gel pens, but then I went and bought some stickles. I don't know. I wanted 3. I wanted gold, black, and clear. So I got those, and I fell in love with them, and I went and bought more. So I've talked about what stickles I have, so I'm not going to do that again. Hardback or softcover? This is a hardback, and hardbacks are nice, but they're nice when they're this size, the size of the Hannah Carlson and you know, the others, the European colorists, let's say. Their books are nice sizes, but if you made a hardcover in a smaller or a larger size, then they become awkward and heavy. If they're oversized hardbacks, they're just like really annoying and awkward. And little ones are awkward because they don't fit on your shelves nicely. So I'm going to go with soft covers because they're more versatile, even though I love coloring in the hardcovers if they're this normal size. Softbacks can be any size though, and they don't really become too awkward for me, except for the size of the Quirkles. Simple pages or intricate pages, it all depends on the image, but if it's not an actual image of something, I like it to be intricate, like color by numbers, patterns, mandalas, designs. All of those I like to be intricate. When it gets to a picture, sometimes I like it intricate, but sometimes I just get tired of coloring another thing and then another thing. And sometimes, you know, you're just in the mood for a simple page. I probably color simple pages more often than I color intricate ones, but I get a glee over some intricate patterns or mandalas, so I'm going to go with intricate. And the final question is Christmas pages or Halloween pages, and that is very easy for me. Halloween, to go along with our goth theme. I love coloring Halloween pictures. A lot of Halloween pictures I don't consider Halloween. I just consider them goth or dark or horror, and I color those all year long, so I'm going with Halloween. And that ends the tag, gentlemen and ladies and gentlemen. So I am going to end here for today, and you'll see the finished image in my finished pages at the end of the month. So since I wasn't tagged, I'm not going to tag anyone. I think a majority of people in the community have done this tag, so I will, or have been tagged at least. So I will see you next time. And here we go. I am back, and today we are going to be coloring a picture out of the current, well actually it's not the current one because the new issue has been released in Britain. I haven't seen anybody this side of the ocean showing theirs yet, so for me it's the current issue of Coloring Heaven Creatures of the Night special. I've already done, if you can see, I've already done 3 pictures out of here. I've decided this year that I'm going to take my Coloring Heavens and place them in my current coloring pile, and that I have to color in them before as I rotate through my pile. So we'll see how many issues I actually am able to succeed with that. But I loved this one. This is my style. So I've been doing them in order, but I decided to skip this one because it was just a bat and some sort of metallic or metal thing behind him. I didn't think that would be very much fun. So we're going to do this one, which is very easy, but will be more fun. And we could possibly finish him too, because I don't see this taking a lot. Let's just hope that my big space coloring skills are... Oh, where am I going to put my drink? It's annoying me. Sorry. There, but no, I have to reach to get it. There, it's in front of my markers. Oh dear. Let's put it... No, it's going to slide. I should have thought of this before. Sorry, I'm just going to have to reach when I need a drink, but it's not very often. So I will be using my Spectrum Noirs if possible, and when I don't have the color I need, I will be moving over to my Ohuhu. So, I decided I'm going to do the bear, a really fun color, and we're going to do the bat in dark gray. So our bear can be, how about kind of like a greeny, turquoisey green. That's always pretty with pink ears. Yeah, I like that. That's one of my favorite colors. Turquoisey greens. GT1. Where are you? Okay, there's 2. I need 1. There it is. So, how are you? I hope you're having a good day today. And if not today, that tomorrow will bring better days for you. You know what I mean. So, it has been one of those weeks that I just can't get myself into the rhythm of the days this week. My husband said to me, my problem is that I get days mixed up. See, I'm always talking about about how I forget a day or I put an extra day in there, but he says that what I actually do is I mix up days. So, you know, on Thursday I will think that Monday was Wednesday and Wednesday was Tuesday, and what's that leave us with? Tuesday is Monday. So, whether it's that or mixed up days, I don't know, but it kind of impedes your ability to get on with the day. And I didn't have any appointments last week, so I wasn't grounded. Usually my appointments ground me. This week I have 2 appointments on Thursday, and it's going to be a really busy time getting to both of those because they're back to back. Oops, what am I doing? So, other than that, I've been good. My shoulders are causing me my most problem these days. Since before Christmas, I guess since December, I've been doing really good in the back and hips area, to the point where right now I am out of bed. I spend most of my time at this desk here, but I am able to manage my way around the house. I guess I would say I'm a bit more limber for moving around the house. But I'm a far cry from when I was at my worst time in a wheelchair. So it's probably one of my best times I've had right now. So I am trying to enjoy it. Okay, we're going to have to switch to the chisel nib. And what I recommend for new colorists is to take the plunge into that nib. Nobody likes it at first. Everybody hates it. I've never heard anybody say, wow, I liked the nib right away. I loved the chisel nib right away. I've never heard anybody say that. When I first started, I only used the bullet nib, and I said I would never use the other side because I tried it and I didn't know how to color with it. But as you color, you find out you need something both wider for the big areas and something narrower, because the bullet nib won't get into those really tiny spaces. And it sounds strange, but your nib, sorry, I keep calling it the nib, I guess I should say the chisel tip. The chisel tip gets into the tiny, tiny little corners, you know. You can just use the tiniest corner and pop in like that. And plus it does the work of the bullet nib, so you saw me using the bullet nib up there for the ears, but mostly I don't use it on too many parts. And now I've got myself a line. You know, I'm kind of beyond the point of caring of getting lines. It's like, I know what I did. I took too long. But I just can't seem to color big spaces these days without making lines in my pieces. And I think it's just because I'm kind of going in slow motion. Even though I am up and about the house and you know, taking advantage of this new freedom that I have, I still am in a slow motion mood. Everything I do is very slowly, and it's down to the point where my husband hands me things slowly. Like if he were handing me this pencil, he goes and then lets me take it. Like, he doesn't just give me things. He's like slowly, because he just says that I am in slow motion, and I feel like I'm in slow motion. So I don't know if anybody else understands that, or if, I'm sure there is. I'm not the first to experience anything that I experience. I'm positive on that. But
hello. I didn't know that.
I'm recording. You can say hi. That was my son, Matthew. He came to say hi to me. Too shy to say hi to you guys. him and my husband, they run for the hills when they see that I'm recording. So I have the sniffles today, and I woke up with a sore throat, so I don't know what that's all about, but as the day wore on, my throat got better. So hopefully it's just one of those morning things. It's gotten cold here. I don't know. It's been, well, I don't know what the temperature is today, honestly. I haven't a clue. But I know at the beginning of the week it was minus 15, which is like unreal here. And of course that's Celsius. It doesn't get down to minus 15 here very often. And it was minus 12 on Tuesday, but after that I haven't paid any attention. It is warmer than that because those 2 days felt incredibly cold. But I still have to breathe in cold air. Alright, now where is their teddy bear on this side? Okay, this is arm here. That is teddy bear. See, using the tip of my chisel point. Yeah, see, you just got to get in there and practice and practice. You know, every time you're coloring, switch over to the chisel nib, do some work with it, and then when you get fed up with it, go back to your bullet, but the next time do it again. And again, every time you color, flip it over and start using that chisel. And you'll eventually start to get the hang of it, and you'll just see how much more you can do with your alcohol markers. And how much more neat and precision work you can do with the nib. The Spectrum Noir nibs are not very good for that, but they're not the best nibs. My Ohuhus have better nibs than these ones. Alright, then we got the hand sticking out here. So it looks like that is that and this little bit right here. Oh, no wait, that could be, oh, his foot, yeah, you know what? I think that's all bat foot down there. My blender. So, of course I'll use editing and try and get the best lighting available for you here, but it is evening. It's 4:45. It's not dark out, but it's dreary. It's just clouds, and the sun is starting to set. I see a little bit of a purplish haze sort of in the clouds. Okay, so I'm going to say that's the bat's leg coming down there. So this is his foot, obviously. This isn't going to take but 2 seconds to color. Oh well, we have the going around of it too. Okay. So that's basically been my week. Nothing bad happened, thankfully. Nothing good happened either. Oh, I forgot for a moment there that I was coloring. Oh, my mind started thinking about other things. Oh dear. Okay, so anything coming up for the next week? Yeah, like I said, I have 2 doctor's appointments coming up. One of them is with a cardiologist because I have swollen feet and calves, and so the doctor says that I need to go see a cardiologist, and I have my appointment on Wednesday, and it's actually going to be an in-person doctor. I don't see my normal everyday doctor in person. It is now. See, this is going to get me because you can't start at two ends of a circle. I shouldn't have done that up there. Oh well. Okay, so I'm gonna have a line. There's no way to not have one, so let's make it as small as possible and be up here. Come up there as soon as I can. Actually, it shouldn't really matter because I'll go over top of that. Let's see if I can do it, guys. So I'm a little bit nervous about going to the cardiologist. Not as I would be going to some other kind of doctor, because I did have a cardiologist trip once, a long time ago. I came back clear. I took all the tests at that time. They won't be able to give me a stress test because there's absolutely no way I can. Okay, so now I'm going to go over this in color because there's no way I can get on a treadmill. I would just fall over myself. I'm not that. I know I said that I was more limber, but I certainly didn't mean up to that standard. So, yeah, that doesn't look so bad now. Okay, with these, usually I like to go straight up and down, but with these markers, they don't work well that way. These are better at scrubbing, which I don't typically like to do. I think I've colored a bit of the toe there, but it's not going to matter because the bat is going to be dark gray, so I don't use black. Though, maybe I should make his wings black and his body another furry color. Or I mean another cute color. Because that's the bear, so I'm going to outline him with 3. Now I found a 3 when I was looking for that one. It's 2. There's 2. There it is, 3. Okay, so we're going to go around all the edges with the darker number using the bullet point. I think that maybe I'll go along these to accentuate the fur edges. Just a minute, folks. Okay, we're back. The cat was crying for my son, Matthew, the one that was in here earlier. He's the owner. The one who takes care of the cat's needs. And then I'm a mom and Dad's dad. To the cat, that is. So that's how the cat's relationship is with everybody in our house. Let's see, just go around normally. I don't know where I was about what I was talking about. I'm going to leave that blank because the fur from the bat will be there. What was I talking about? So one video I was thinking of doing for you guys is showing you how I store and keep my PDFs, because I do print them out, but not exactly how you may think I do. So yeah, I'm going to be putting that video up at some point. And I don't know if I did this in the first part or not, but I just want to, when you watch this, it will be the, I forget what the month, I forget. Well, it'll be the last week of January anyways, and so it'll also be the last week of Nikki Reed's Generous Scene. And I just wanted to thank everybody for their participation in that. It has gone off really well, and I've been like really pleased with participation. And there were a lot of people who were introduced to her over this month, which is really my main goal, I guess, in having that tag, was to show her off and why I like her. You've seen every book I have in her collection except for the Cottage collection. There's a new book that she put out this week. Last week, I should say. And I'll be trying to get that one up this week. I haven't flipped it yet, though, so I don't know for sure. Okay, and we got our bit here. So there's lots of outlining to do on this one. This is kind of a style I like to use now when I'm coloring this kind of a picture. I don't always do it because not every picture is suited to it, but most of them are. And it didn't go around here either. Just kind of gives it a shadow and also gives it a bit of a pop. Alright, so down here. What else? Okay, what I'm reading and what I'm watching. Well, I've been watching all sorts of things. And you know what my memory's like, so I can't remember them all. But I did watch the Harlan Coben series, Safe and the Five. I don't remember Safe because right after it I watched the Five, and that was amazing. It had three, like, you start off with one crime, and then a second one happened, and then a third one happened, and then as the series is ending, it finishes off one of those crimes, and it's like poof, pushes it to the back of our mind. Now we totally forget that even existed until now we're going along in one of the other crimes, and you may think, oh wow, I remember the beginning of this movie was about such and such, or the beginning of this show, and then they solve the second crime and that pushes that out of the way, and then it finally ends up with the third crime. And it is so weird. I don't know when this show was made, and I think it's a Netflix original, so I don't know where I would have seen it before, but I just had these deja vu moments with it, like I had seen it. There would just suddenly be a feeling, and then I'd be like, I know I've seen this. But then it would continue on, and I wouldn't have a clue what was going on. I did make a guess as to who had done it. That ended up being one of the guesses in the show. So for a brief moment in time, I thought I was right until I was shown wrong. So that was fun, because I often figure out who did things in TV show mysteries. Like episodic stuff, like Law and Order and Criminal Minds and stuff, like if it's actually a mystery, whoops, where you're trying to figure out who did it, I usually figure those out. But often than not, you are shown who the killer is at the beginning, and then you just watch it unfold. Okay, so what color? Okay, we're going to say pink ears. So let's get that done. I usually use, what do I use for pink? Begonia, that's the one I usually use. So I'll use the bullet tip for that. And I think we'll just talk for a little bit more, because the first half, yesterday's, well, not yesterday, but I can't remember what day I filmed. I filmed on, but that was 45 minutes. And so we're at 26 right now. So let me tell you what I'm watching and reading. So I finished watching Harlan Coben's 5, and I've since been watching some true crime documentary. I just couldn't get into another series right away, so I have watched. It's one of those Netflix original true crime docuseries that I watched. And now I'm on a second one. The first one I watched really fast. Now the one I'm on is the one about Gabrielle something. He's the child that was tortured and murdered. And it is a tough go. But I watch these shows mostly because this type of show mostly because I'm fascinated by the law process, like, and especially the court system, even though it's like not the Canadian way that courts go. I still find it fascinating. I'm sure there's some similarities. Alright, now we need a darker pink. So let's go with PP6, which is what I usually use, which is quite a dark one. Oh, and I guess I shouldn't have put that down, because I think his nose should be pink too. I think all cute teddy bears. Oh no, teddy bears often have brown noses, but that's not cute. Let's go with the pink nose. Well, we didn't get this done, but we got it. A large portion done. It's not going to take me much longer to finish this off. And I don't want to keep talking and turn this into... It's going to be pretty close to half an hour, which is good. So let's just finish up his ears here. Finish up what I've started, his ears and his nose. Then I'm thinking about the pads on his feet. It looks like we've got two colors down there. There's going to be the pads, and then there's his toes. So I think I'll do the pads light brown, and the toes, they could be pink. That might work. So I'm going to say goodbye to you now, and I hope that you will all remain well this coming week, or get better than you are today. And I've got a few things that are coming up. I've got some videos that I'm planning, and of course I will see you again next week for our vlog. So take care. Bye!